I want you to consider three things. Hey guys, Adam here. Welcome back to my channel. So I said last week I was going to do my very best to get back on YouTube and start producing and putting out content again. So I've been thinking about topics that I could do, and after 35 years of training, the topic list is virtually endless. But I wanted to do another series on squats for sure, and my tips on how to improve your squat. And as you know from my videos and Instagram, I'm a high bar squatter, and I go as deep as I possibly can go, ass to grass, well below the hip crease, and to me that is the only way to squat. It is the best, in my opinion, it is the best indicator of overall strength. It is the deepest end range that you can get to. It's the most time under tension. To me, it is the best for overall leg development and hypertrophy. Okay, so how do I explain squats to somebody who asks me from time to time? And how I do that is how I try to explain everything. I try to explain it as simple as possible so that anybody, whether you're a beginner or someone like myself, could take that information and apply it to their training. So if you're expecting a sciencey, nerdy type explanation of squats, that is not this channel. I try and keep things as simple as possible, and this video is going to be no different. So I want you to consider three things. I want you to consider the brakes on a car, a manual transmission, and swimming. You're probably thinking, okay, where the hell is he going with this?
That's what it's all about, Trey. The fuck is he talking about?
So, to me, and you're probably going to see videos where people say that is a terrible way to explain the human body. I see the human body as a machine, not a collection of parts that are separate from each other. Yes, we're a collection of parts, but we are the sum of those parts. And we move as one in everyday life. So to me, the body is a machine. We have an engine. We have wheels. We have support structures. We need to feed it with the right fuel, right? We need the right gas to move. We need tune-ups from time to time. And if we do not take care of that machine will eventually break down. So this post is not only about hypertrophy, it is about longevity, and it is about building strength, of course, as well. So I'm not going to make this video too lengthy, but the first thing I want you to consider, as I said, are the brakes on a car. So think about that in terms of your squat and descending into a squat. If you drive your car towards a stop sign every single time and slam on your brakes, it's not going to be very long before you need to replace the brakes. Okay, the force of stopping, so let's say the stop sign is 90 degrees or above, 90 or above. So if you slam on those brakes every single time at parallel or slightly above, the shearing forces on your knees are going to cause your knees to break down eventually. And I know personally, if I ever squatted heavy to 90 without the use of, say, a box or something like that, which I think box squats are great, probably the best that you can do as far as being an athlete, but that's for another topic. But just think about, for now, slamming on those brakes at 90 degrees or above, that is not going to do well for your knees over time. And as I was just saying, that if I did not have the use of a box and I was squatting to 90 degrees or above and slamming on those brakes, my knees always hurt. But the best thing to do when you're approaching a stop sign is to come to a slow, controlled stop, okay? So you're slowing down. The same thing in a squat. You want to descend slowly, controlled, and the next thing is think about a manual transmission. Okay, so that bottom part of the squat is now your manual transmission on your car. So if you think of a standard manual transmission, if you let the clutch out slowly, as if you're going to stall the car on purpose, okay? And I know this in the new models, I have had them. If you let the clutch out slowly, there is a point just before the car stalls that it starts to move forward again. Okay, so to me, that is how I explain the stretch reflex. You descend slowly into the squat, past 90, come to a nice controlled stop, and your body will reflex into that ascent. So now it's just your job is to finish the ascent, okay, the concentric part of the squat. That is what you have to do to finish the whole movement of the squat. And that's where I want you to think about swimming, okay? So this brings into the brace during the ascent. So think about, you're at the edge of a pool, you're going to jump in feet first. You're not going to dive in head first, okay? We're descending into a squat here. So you're going to jump off feet first into the pool. The first thing you do is you take a deep breath. You take your deep breath and you jump into the pool. So you're descending feet first to the bottom of the pool. When your feet hit the bottom of the pool, I want you to consider driving with the head. So instead of thinking about the squat as you're driving with the hips, you're not lifting the hips up, you're driving straight up with the head. Knees are out, you're pushing knees out and driving with the head. So think about that cue, okay? So drive up with the head to the surface of the water and you're breaking the surface. The same thing in a squat. When you descend in a squat, I always tell someone, drive for the ceiling, okay? Think about you want to bang your head into the ceiling. That is the first thing that you use to push, okay? Drive with the head, like you're heading for the ceiling or you're coming up out of a pool. So let's consider now the concept of longevity, because that is the ultimate goal in training, is that you are doing it for the rest of your life and doing it healthy. And certainly I attribute my healthy knees to the fact that I've been doing ass to grass squats since I was a teenager. Nothing has changed. My squat stance, my position has not changed for most of my adult life. I want you to think about lengthening as strengthening. So the great thing about doing ass to grass squats is that you're lengthening all of those support structures, the tendons, the ligaments, your adductors, your hamstrings, your glutes. All of those muscles, when you're in the position of a back squat, are lengthening. And if you don't do that, if you think about just going to above parallel all the time, or quarter squats, half squats, whatever, because let's face it, people's squats today are not good. They're not good squats. I mean, squats have descended into a very dark place recently. So, and what the lengthening of all those muscles and supports do is going to prevent injuries, or certainly help to prevent injuries. So that's why I say squat as low as you can go, because when you're in those end ranges, that is the healthiest, most natural position that we can be in as human beings. You look at toddlers, they don't squat down to parallel, they squat down and sit right on their heels. Okay, so that is how I explain the squat to any beginner or anybody who is having trouble perfecting their squat, because ideally at some point in your life you want to perfect that squat, okay, for longevity. And certainly if you're not adding ass to grass squats into your program now, I certainly recommend that you start working on it. And you can add things into your program like snatch grip deadlifts, where you're into that deep ass to grass position, overhead squats. All of my squats, it doesn't matter what I do, they are all full depth, ass to grass, body position straight as I can possibly get it. So now that I've told you all of that, the only thing that you have to do is listen to everything that I've just told you.
Okay. Go! What's your sole purpose in this army?
To do whatever you tell me, drill sergeant.
God damn it, Gump! You're a goddamn genius. That's the most outstanding answer I've ever heard. You must have a goddamn IQ of 160. You are goddamn gifted, Private Gump.
And apply it to your training. So with that, I hope this little tip on squats was helpful. If it was, consider subscribing to my channel and following me on Instagram, where you'll see all of my daily and weekly training. So with that, stay tuned for the next video. And if you'd like to see more tip style videos, just leave a comment down there in the comment section. Let me know what you'd like to see on the next video. Take care.